It's now or never. Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm only 2 minutes late. Yay, me. I'm sorry I'm 2 minutes late. I was trying to be here early. I did not expect to not find my makeup bag this morning. How many women would actually do this without putting their makeup on? I don't even wear a lot of makeup, but I was like, okay, let's do it. I don't care. Right? I've streamed without makeup before. Doesn't matter. I don't even wear that much makeup. If you don't know me, my name is Dee, and I'm streaming out of Humboldt County, about Humboldt County, to Humboldt County, and anyone else who cares. And today I am doing this study. I'm not sure how far we'll get through this book. It is a 40-page book. I don't intend to do more than 10 or 15 minutes. I think like maybe 10 minutes. I was thinking I could probably knock this book out. Well, I don't want to even guess. Let's just see what 5-10 minutes looks like. There are only, how many questions are here? Oh, there's 333 questions. So I was thinking like 10 minutes, just to get through this book. Good afternoon, Carolina. Good to see you. So let me get my screen up here. This book is on the Library of Congress. And let's see. And we've got it right here. I hope you can hear me okay. If you didn't know, I'm not really a professional. I'm just a girl with a voice here. And I think that it's high time we focus on educating ourselves. So I wanted to do this for us. And hopefully, we can all learn something. I don't know. Here we go. 10:04. Let me see how long I can get through. Let's see what 5 minutes gets through. It also depends how heady and meaty information just coming at you. Sometimes you really just can't do too much. I'll talk about some of the other studies that I've done when I get done with this and what else I want to do. But for now, we are going to just go through a few of the questions that was presented to 8th graders in 1828. By this year, this is what they needed to graduate 8th grade. Okay. Question 1. In what country do you live? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me go back and read. There's just like a page and a half here. So actually, let me read both here. District of Massachusetts, to wit. Oh, this is just the publishing stuff here. Conformity to the Act of Congress of the United States entitled An Act for the Encouragement of Learning by securing the copies of maps, charts, and books to the authors and proprietors of such copies during the times therein mentioned, and also to an act entitled An Act Supplementary to an Act entitled An Act for the Encouragement of Learning by, did I already read that part? By securing the copies of maps, charts, and books to the authors and proprietors of such copies during the times therein mentioned, and extending the benefits thereof to the arts of designing, engraving, and etching historical and other prints. J.N.O. W. Davis, Clerk of the District of Massachusetts. So let's just read this intro here. Preface. That a people living under a free government, which they have themselves originated, should be well acquainted with the instrument which contains it needs not to be proved. Were the system indeed very cumbrous and extensive, running into minute detail and hard to be retained in the memory, even this would be no good reason why pains should not be taken to understand and to imprint it upon the mind. But when its principles are simple, its features plain and obvious, and its brevity surpassing all example, it is certainly a most reprehensible negligence to remain in ignorance of it. Yet how small a portion of the citizens of this republic have even a tolerable acquaintance with their own constitution. It has appeared to the author of the following sheets that this culpable want of acquaintance with what is of such deep interest to us all is to be traced to the omission of an important part of what ought to be an American education, viz., the study of the civil institutions of our country. We prize them, it is true, and are quite enough in the habit of boasting about them. Would it not be well to teach their elements to those whose best inheritance they are? The following work has been prepared with a view to such an experiment. It is written expressly for the use of boys, and it has been the aim and effort of the writer to bring down the subject completely to a level with their capacity to understand it. Whether he has succeeded, the trial must show. He has purposely avoided all abstruse questions and has confined himself to a simple, common sense explanation of each article. It is very possible some inaccuracies may be discovered, and should this be the case, they shall be carefully corrected should the work be so far approved as to reach another edition. In the meantime, he cannot but indulge the hope that in laying this little offering upon the altar of our country, he has rendered her an acceptable service. Excuse me. Question 1. In what country do you live? Answer. In the United States of America. Question. Why is this country called the United States? Answer. Because it is made up of a number of states which were once separate, but afterwards agreed to unite together. Question. What do you mean by a state? Answer. I mean any district of country whose people are all under one government. Question. Had then the different states which united together each a government of its own? Answer. Yes, but they agreed to put themselves all under one general government. Why did they do this? Because it would promote their general welfare. Is some government necessary in every country? Certainly. Without it, nobody would be safe. Not only our property, but our lives would be in danger. Cannot all the people of a country govern themselves? If every man was perfectly virtuous and knew what would be best for himself and others, they might, but this is far from being the case, and therefore the people of every country are and must be governed. How is this done? Laws are made which all must obey. Whoever disobeys them is punished. Who makes these laws? They are made in different ways under different governments. In some countries, a single man makes the laws according to his own pleasure. What is such a government called? Despotism or absolute monarchy, and the person who thus rules is a despot or absolute monarch. In other states, a certain number of persons belonging to ancient or wealthy families makes the laws. What is such a government styled? An aristocracy or oligarchy. In other cases, the people themselves meet to make the laws. This is called a pure democracy. A state must be very small, where all the people can meet in one assembly. That's supposed to be a question. A state must be very small. It must probably be, I don't know, let's see the answer. Answer. This form of government is only suited to a small city. Oh, a state must be very small where all the people can meet in one assembly. It says it's a question, but answer. This form of government is only suited to a small city or rather village and can never take place in a state of any extent. One other form remains, that is, where the people too numerous to meet themselves choose certain of their own number to meet for them. This is called a representative government because those who meet represent all the rest. It is also called a republic. Question. Which of these ways of governing a nation is the best? A, the last. A country thus ruled is said to be free or to enjoy liberty. But where a single man may make what laws he pleases and all the rest must obey him, the people are no better than slaves. Why do they obey him? Because he has an army of soldiers whom he pays and who force the people to obedience. Cannot they raise an army too and resist him? This has sometimes been done, and after much bloodshed and confusion, the people have partially succeeded, but they have more frequently failed, and then they were more oppressed than before. How is this country governed? It is a republic, and it is governed by persons whom the people choose from time to time to make laws. Was it always a republic? No, the states were formerly colonies. What do you mean by colonies? When a part of the people of a nation remove to some distant place where they settle but still continue to be governed by the nation from which they came out, these new settlements are called colonies, and the country which governs them is called the mother country. By what nation were the American colonies governed? By Great Britain. Most of the people who first settled this country came from England, Scotland, or Ireland, which three countries make up Great Britain. And long after they had settled there, continued to be governed by laws, most of which were made in England. Were these laws good and wise? Many of them were, and for a time the colonies were perhaps better off than if they had entirely governed themselves, because though Great Britain did rule them, she also gave them protection by her fleets and did many things for their advantage. But afterwards, very unwise and unjust laws were made, and such threatened to destroy all liberty in the colonies. One more minute. Should I do another page? Let's finish this page 8 here. What did the colonies do then? They made complaints and reasoned for a long time with Great Britain, trying to persuade her to act more justly. Did Great Britain listen to their complaints and repeal those bad laws? No, but instead of that, sent ships over and soldiers to force us to obey them. And did we obey? No, the people of the colonies consulted with each other what was to be done, and at length took up arms, raised such armies as they could, and though they had few soldiers, no experienced officers, and but little money, they carried on a war against the whole power of Great Britain, and having, with aid from France, forced 2 British armies to lay down their arms and surrender themselves prisoners, they at length compelled Great Britain to acknowledge their independence. What do you mean by that? I mean that she was compelled to consent that all those colonies which had before been governed by laws made for them by her, should after that have liberty to make laws for themselves and obey her no more. When we speak of this war, what do we call it? We call it the American Revolution. I'll finish the last question, but I might restart it when I start the next one. What do you mean by revolution? A revolution means some great change of government, and we ought ever to remember ours with ardent gratitude to God for so great a blessing, and with lasting love and reverence for those good, wise, and brave men who went through such dangers and sufferings that their country might be free. And that's it. I didn't want to do too long. Oh, good. I'm glad I got a 5x5, because if you said can't hear you, I might have did the whole thing. So anyway, I don't know where this Constitution posse is, but y'all better watch the replay. This is a short one. I don't really have anything else to say. I thought I might just go through this book with you guys. I've read through it before myself. I have a whole slew of books of the history in Humboldt County, and every once in a while I'll try to pull out a history book then, but I do have a stream put together for Humboldt, just a little touch-in, check-in stream. I don't know if I published it. No, I didn't publish it yet, but I might see you later, and if not, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you learned something.